Hi there, it's Polly here. Yes, just think of mighty fistfights I have seen, particularly in fandom. As a martial artist, I have to say they are very high on the comedy scale. One of them truly cracked me up. So there was a TV show called ER, and someone actually lifted a real fight and used it to make an ER episode. Two furry fans are wheeled in, and one of these guys has got like a human bite on him, and blood everywhere, and of course human bites are very unsanitary, and the other one's been kind of like hit and is a bit concussed, but the guy that's been hit is in a full kangaroo suit and everything. So, well, who bit this guy? So, oh, I bit him. So, why did you bite him? Because he put his hand in my pouch, and I don't go that way. And so, but this is from a real fight. Reeling back. So, there was a fan from Iceland. This guy came traveling the USA and went to conventions and so on, and of course he's just lit up his life. Yeehaw, all these conventions and things. So he just decided he wasn't going home. He was on a tourist visa, so he's there on like a 90-day US tourist visa, and he stayed for years. And that makes you, yay, a illegal immigrant. So he's just going from con to con and doing things and just living life with no permission to be in the country at all, and a violated visa. So he got heavily into American gun culture. Yeah, I'll refrain from telling you what the entire rest of the world thinks of American gun culture, but let us be quite clear. This guy is not an American citizen, so, oh, the right to bear arms, and oh, yes, etc., etc. Yes, but not you, mate. You're just basically a tourist. There's no enshrined right in the US Constitution for tourists to run around the country, with a machine gun in one hand and a machete in the other. This might be considered to be, a bit of a breach. But he starts collecting guns and purchasing guns, and the usual paranoia that dark forces are closing in and they must be armed at all times. So he teams up with another guy, and they decide to head from out of state into California for a big old convention. So of course they've always got that paranoia that I don't know, lizard people are closing in on them or whatever. They feel they've got to have this voice. So they loaded the car up with guns, and they've got guns strapped to their hips, and they've got concealed guns for which they have no permits. And amongst those, of course, are fully automatic weapons and all kinds of other things. So it's like stuff that's very illegal in California without set permits. So off they go. Now, of course, being fanboys, they're in a typical fan car, which means it's got mechanical difficulties. So they get pulled over on the highway in California in out-of-state plates in a car, for not having brake lights functioning, or indicator lights or something minor like that. But when this policeman looks in the car and just sees guns everywhere, it's like, okay, step out of the car, hands up. Then when he runs IDs, it's like, aha, here's someone who's like 7 years overstayed on a 90-day visa. So it's like, right, so this person goes into a detention center for illegal immigrants. And they're just going to keep him in there for months while they figure out, because deportation actually takes you ages. So this guy's in there for a long time and not having a good time. So deep in the heart of California, there was another fan who, okay, to be clear, was very, very kind of dedicated to that fandom and, had loyalties to the people in it. This person, lady, yes, turned out to be a total prick, but, all right, credit where credit's due. They put their own money together and they paid a bond for this person, basically bail to get you out of the detention center. However, that bond basically comes with heavy warnings of penalties. Basically says this person must now leave the country under their own steam, or you lose the bond. And it was like many thousands of dollars. Okay, so Icelander is out and said, okay, look, yes, I will leave the country and then you'll get this money back and all as well. But then this Icelander just goes off on a tour of the USA. Just heads off, starts going to conventions again, goes to conventions in New York, goes to conventions in Pennsylvania, just so the guy that puts up the money for the bond is obviously, worried about this and does indeed start getting mail from the government saying passport control to show that this person has not yet left the country. Your bond will be forfeit, within this time unless this person leaves. And because you've, essentially been a character witness for this guy and put forward things, there may be further penalties heading your way. All right, so this guy goes thundering off to a convention in Pennsylvania where this Icelander's going to be, where I believe I happened to be guest of honor at the time. And yes, a fracas begins. Started off as a tiff, became more of a fracas, and probably the funniest fist fight you'll ever see. Because the guy that put up the bond was, kind of a little round, older fan, so he must have been like 5'4", 5'5", little kind of potbelly guy. The Icelander, as most Icelanders are wont, was an enormous tall string bean of a person, very close to 7 foot tall, with very long arms and legs. So the little guy suddenly busts into the middle of the trade floor where the rest of us are, minding our own business, doing things. And here he is, I'm going to kick his ass. That's it, I've enough of you. I'm going to beat you within an inch of your life. So this guy comes thundering out, swinging these fists. The tall Icelandic guy, who also has basically never had a fist fight in his life, but sort of doesn't have to. He just reaches out a hand and just kind of puts it against the little guy's chest, and he is so tall and so huge, and his limbs are sort of such freakishly long extensions that he's just sort of got that pressed against the little guy, and the little guy's swinging his fist and he's missing by about a foot, because so the little guy's surging forward, desperately trying to, punch this guy, and the Icelander's just kind of, walking it back and walking around. No, go away, please. No, go away. No, go away. No, go away. So, funny little guy just reaches in and bites the guy, and really bites him, right into the flesh, blood everywhere. So, the Icelander jerks his hand out and ow, bump, on top of this guy's head and basically knocks him silly. Which is about the time convention security and hotel security come thundering in, separate them, like, oh shit, we got blood running from one guy, so all right, off to the ER. The other guy's got eyes pointing in slightly different directions, so all right, well, we got to take him off as well. So very, very pleased that a stupid incident actually got turned into something pretty funny for TV. Who did that? Some I was like, I'm mostly, because I write for TV and film, like, who the hell was there that sent that one in? Yeah, brilliantly funny fight. I shall muse on some more. But yes, for those who ever saw that ER episode, it did have dark origins. Of about a 3 or 4 minute fight between two people where not a blow landed until one person just decided to bite the other. Oy. Anyway,